everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla, and if you are interested in lifestyle and makeup videos sprinkled with magic, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Today I have a very exciting video because I'm going to be talking to you guys all about the It's a Mood palette, and I'm so excited to be doing this video because this video would not have been made possible without my friend Cassie, or Cassie's Castle. She has an Instagram, a YouTube, and a TikTok, and she so kindly gifted this to me for my birthday, and I swear when I opened this I was just so excited. Like, I had no idea that she was gonna get this for me. I believe I mentioned this in my what I want, like things I've been eyeing video, and she picked this up for me. So I was so excited that she picked this up for me, and I'm so excited to have this in my collection because I initially was not going to purchase this palette because I have way too many palettes, but now that it's in my collection, I'm so happy to have it. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts on the palette, and then I'll be sharing with you 3 different looks that I created using this palette. So if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts and then seeing 3 different looks, then keep watching. So first, let's talk about my thoughts on the palette. So I've been using this palette obviously to create the 3 looks that are included in this video, and I really like this palette, and I think it's super appropriate for the season. Like, if you guys look inside, it is a beautiful 30 pan palette, and it has a really great variety of mattes and shimmers and glitter shadows, or pressed glitter shadows that you can use. And I also think it has a really great variety of shades. Like, you have a bunch of dark mattes here at the bottom that you could use to darken out your crease or something like that, and then you also have like a lot of neutral shadows that you can use on an everyday basis, but you also have like a bunch of other fun colors that you can use in here. Initially though, why I wasn't going to get this palette in the first place was that when I first saw the palette, it was really beautiful and it really caught my eye, but then I will say it kind of reminds me of my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette that I don't like. It kind of has like the same color story in there, except this one has a lot more mattes than shimmers, and it also kind of reminds me of the So Jaded palette in here, but this one has like a little bit more of a variety of colors, and yes, this palette is like very beat up. Anyways, back to the palette, but I really like how this palette is set up, and I actually think this would be a really great palette to gift to someone who's maybe a little bit more of a beginner. I mean, I'm still a beginner, but I think this is a really beautiful palette. So if you guys are thinking about Christmas gifts for someone, or like a birthday gift, or whatever gift, or you want to treat yourself, I feel like this would be a really great palette, especially if you guys are starting out your makeup collection. I have a lot of makeup, so I will say that I could recreate this palette like using a bunch of other shades that I have, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, I really like this palette because I think it has a really great variety of colors and different shades. I also really like how in each row it has its own color story. So a reason why I think this would be a really great beginner palette is because it is set up in rows. Like, for example, if you wanted to do a purple look, you have all of the shadows here that you could use to really create that purple look. If you wanted to create a neutral look, you could use all of the colors right here, and then a blue look, and then a green look. You get what I'm saying. So overall, I really liked this palette. I definitely didn't use all of the colors in these 3 looks because there are so many different colors to use, but I definitely know that I'll be getting a lot of use out of this in the fall. I think this is a really beautiful like fall and winter palette because it has a bunch of neutrals and then also has a bunch of fun colors that you could play with, and it kind of has more of like a rich, deep tone compared to more of like a spring and summer vibe, which I feel like is a lot more like pastel colors. So overall, I really like this palette. One shade I will mention, this is kind of a random thing, but one shade that I will mention that I was a little disappointed in was the shade Oblivion, because I feel like when I actually swatched it and I even tried to use it as an eye look, it just kind of looked like gross. Like, it kind of looked like, it just did not look very good. Like, I was expecting kind of like a really nice dark muted green, if that makes sense, but then I don't know, it just kind of looked like more of a brown, but maybe I have to play around with it a little bit more. I'm really happy with the 3 looks that I created with this palette, and I feel like they are perfect for all of the holiday activities that are coming up, like holiday parties, Christmas dinners, different activities. But nonetheless, I'm really happy with how all the looks turned out, and I feel like they're very different from each other, so you can definitely create a lot of different looks in here. So overall, I really like this palette, but I definitely need to play around more with it because there are so many different beautiful colors in here. So yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on the palette. I forgot to mention that this palette retails for $32, so if you guys are looking for a great palette to gift to your friend, your loved one, or you're even looking for something to treat yourself with, I definitely would recommend this palette. I think it has a bunch of beautiful shades, and I feel like there's a lot to play around with in here, so I definitely will be using this palette a lot during the fall and winter time. Like, honestly, just looking at this palette I feel like is really beautiful, so I'm really happy to add this to my collection. So again, thank you so much, Cassie, for giving me this palette. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I know I'll be getting a lot of use out of it. So those were my thoughts on the palette, but now let's go ahead and get into the 3 looks. Hey everyone, let's go ahead and get started on the first look. First, I'm going to go ahead and take the Shadow Everywhere and use that as my transition shadow, and this is a nice peachy color, and for this look we're going for a burgundy look. I was thinking of a festive look, so I just continued to blend that out and make sure there's no harsh lines. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Fascination and use this as my crease color. This look was pretty simple. I honestly only used 3 colors plus an inner corner shadow. So I go ahead and work in Fascination into my outer thirds, and then I work it into my inner thirds to help create a halo eye. And I make sure to leave space on the middle of my lid, so I leave space for that halo eyeshadow. Then I'm going to go ahead and take the shadow Stormy and use this in the center of my eyelid, and this helps create a halo eye, and using this technique helps create the appearance of larger, rounder eyes. I make sure I go ahead and take a clean brush and blend out the edges to make sure that there's no harsh lines. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and take Reunion and use this as my inner corner shadow. And after I put on my eyelashes and put on my face makeup, I went back in the shade Fascination and I worked this on my lower lash line. That's pretty much the first look. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, you guys, we are on to the second look. First, we are going to jump into the shade Echoes, and I'm going to take this on an angled brush and work this around my crease line. Then I go ahead and use the same shade Echoes, and I start to build out my winged eyeliner like I normally do. I keep building up the color on my crease and my winged liner to get that deep shade of purple that I want. I then go ahead and take the shade Had to Be on a thin pencil brush, and this is the deepest shade of purple in the palette, and I place this on the base of the shadow Echoes to really define my crease and my wing liner and help create an ombre effect. And after I'm happy with the color, I go ahead and take a clean fluffy brush and blend out the crease to create a smoky diffused look. Then I go ahead and take some concealer and I go ahead and carve out my cut crease kind of like I would for a full cut crease. I guess you can call this kind of like a reverse cut crease maybe, but I go ahead and create a full cut crease, and after that I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Thunder and use this all over my lid. I also use Thunder as my inner corner shadow, and after I'm done with Thunder I go back in with Echoes to go over my eyeliner one more time to create a really dramatic wing liner. I use a Q-tip to clean up my wing, and then I put on my lashes and the rest of my makeup. I didn't show it in the clip, but I also went back into the shade Echoes and I used that on my lower lash line. And that is the second look. I really like how this look turned out because I think it's a little different than something that I've usually done, and I wanted to do a different technique. So let me know what you guys think. Okay, you guys, we are on to the last look, and I go ahead and dip into Don't Deny, which is this deep blue color, and then I work that into my crease, and I focus it on my crease area and then slowly blend it up to create a gradient effect. I really want the darkest point of the shadow to be in my crease. After I'm happy with how Don't Deny looks, I take a small angled brush and I'm going to go ahead and start carving out my crease. And this time we're going to do a full cut crease. And I'm going to slowly take my time carving out my crease, and then I'm going to take a small defining brush to really sharpen out that cut crease. And for my cut crease color, I'm going to go ahead and use the shade Love Song, but I'm just going to focus it on the inner third of my eyelid and stop like a little past the half point of my crease, because then we're going to go ahead and take the shade Echoes, and I wanted to do something a little different, so that's why we're working in Echoes into the outer corner, and I'm going to make sure I blend that shade in with Don't Deny. To make sure that Echoes and Love Song is blended, I'm going to go ahead and take Ritual, which is this glitter shadow, and I'm going to tap that over where Love Song and Echoes meet to make sure it looks blended. And I'm going to go ahead and use Love Song as my inner corner shadow as well. And after I'm done putting on my face makeup, I go back with Echoes and I blend that on the outer third of my lower lash line, and then I go back in with Love Song and use that on the inner third of my lower lash line. And that's pretty much the third look. Let me know what you guys think. I was trying to do something a little different and use 3 different colors, so hopefully you guys can tell, but let me know what you guys think. And those were my 3 looks using the It's a Mood palette. And again, I have to say thank you to Cassie for giving me this palette for my birthday. I absolutely love it, and I'm super, super happy that I was able to add this to my collection. So I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. I hope you guys liked the 3 looks. I'm not sure which one was my favorite. I think actually my favorite would have to be the second one, just because it is a different technique than something I've done before, and I feel like it looks like I put in a lot of effort because it has like that negative space, how it's kind of like an inverse cut crease. But anyways, I really like that look, and I feel like it just looks really stunning, and it wasn't too hard to do. So anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you guys liked it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments which look was your favorite, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video from me. And let's stay connected. Follow me on my socials. They're both just Kayla's Ever After. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy December, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!